Hi everyone, I'm Sergio Varanda, as he said. Let me give you some background on me. I joined Miniclip in 2010 to start the mobile division. Miniclip is a 15-year-old company. We grew mostly on the web from 2000 to 2010. And when mobile started to pick up, I met Rob, the CEO, and we agreed to start the mobile division. Before that, I was at Skype. I was one of the early employees of Skype from 2005 to 2010. In 2008, I created my first iPhone game. It was called Fling. It was quite successful back then. It sold 1.2 million copies. I made this with two friends. At that time, it was the Wild Wild West in the App Store, so it was quite easy to reach massive audiences because the competition was small. And then I started to realize that discoverability was going to be the main problem of the App Store. So after meeting Rob, I thought that miniclip.com had a great platform in order to push games and to make them famous. So I stopped working for Skype, joined Miniclip. We started with 4 people in the mobile division, and now we are around 120, 130 people on mobile. We're also a web company. Now we're mostly a mobile company. 90% of our revenues today will come from mobile. In 2012, 80% of our revenues was still web. So we transitioned it in a matter of 2 years. So a bit more about us. Our main game is 8-Ball Pool, which was launched in 2013 on mobile. It's usually a top 10, top 20 grossing game in the US and all the main countries. And we launched Soccer Stars last year, which is quite an important title for us. And we launched Agario in July this year. So how many of you here know what Agario is so far? It's quite a lot of people. So Agario, what's Agario? Agario is a massive multiplayer game where the goal is to actually eat other cells and become the biggest in the arena. It became very popular. I think it's probably the biggest viral hit of 2015, both on mobile and on the web. It reached #1 positions in almost every country in the App Store and on Google Play. And the question is, how did this actually happen? How a game that looks so simple, so childish, became one of the biggest hits of 2015? And this is what I'm going to try to share with you today. So, how did it start? So Agario was launched on the 28th of April of 2015 on the web. It was first shared on 4chan, which is a bulletin board website, a forum, by the developer. The developer is a super smart kid, 19-year-old Brazilian kid that did all of this on his own. So the game was quickly picked up by Reddit, and very quickly the web finds Agario. What started to happen was that in a matter of a few days, the game became massively popular in many countries in the world, specifically some key markets in Europe. UK, Poland, Turkey was also a very important market for the beginning of Agario, Russia. And it was mostly being played in schools and in universities. And it was still not so much covered by social media. It was more a word-of-mouth thing at this point. So, on the 15th of May, I'm having lunch with my cousin, who's 19 years old, and he's telling me about the game that he's playing with his friends on university. I was quite surprised because he's not a gamer. So I said, what kind of game is it? And he said, oh, it's very addictive, it's a multiplayer game, it's very hard to explain, you're just a big ball and you eat other balls. And I said, okay, this is interesting. So I got to the office, I started playing Agario, and I started to see what was actually making this game so popular. It was really fun to play. It was really addictive, and the fact that you are interacting with other people all over the world made the difference. So immediately I started trying to find a developer. I contacted him that day. This was on a Friday afternoon. I said we wanted to publish the game on iOS and on Android. And on Saturday I was booking him tickets to come to our office. On Sunday he was flying. On Monday he was on our office. On Thursday that week, we were acquiring the game. So we managed to do this in a matter of 6 days. He's still working with us, so he's very happy with the results. We're also very happy. We managed to help him scale to a point that he was probably not going to be able to do himself. And we also managed to monetize the game much better, especially on the web. Just to give you an idea, by the time we launched the game was making around $3,000 a day on web. A few days later, after we optimized the ads, we have an ads team that was used to optimizing ads for miniclip.com. A few days later, the game was making $50K a day just on the web. So by the time we acquired it, the game had already some media coverage, but social media was not that huge at that point for that particular game. 2 weeks later, PewDiePie made his first video of Agario, which also managed to bring the game to more notice all over the world. So far, he already made 7 videos of Agario. We never talk with him, so he likes to play it. And these videos had more than tens of millions of views. There's also other famous YouTubers and Twitch streamers that are playing the game a lot. So just to give you an idea of our current numbers on the web, we have around 50 million MAUs, 3 million DAUs. And we have, at peak times, 250,000 users playing the game. And we are, according to Alexa, 853 on the most visited sites on the web. So copycats and imitators. So immediately after we acquired the game, we understood that the big issue is going to be to launch faster, launch better, and have a better experience than all the copycats that should be appearing very quickly. So in a matter of a few days, tons of new clones appear on the App Store and on Google Play. Many of them reaching really high positions in the top free charts. So our priority became to launch a good experience on mobile as soon as possible. So in order to do this, we decided to keep the gameplay exactly as it was on the web, with no monetization features, in order to get to the market faster. We knew that if we were able to add more features, we potentially could make more money out of the game. But the thing, we could not let a clone of the game take the market before the original game actually did it. So by 8th of July of 2015, we launched the official version of Agario on Android and iOS. We spent several weeks tweaking the controls, making sure we could provide a very similar experience to what you have on the web. I believe we were the best compared to all the clones in terms of how good the experience could be. Another interesting factor is that when we tried to submit to iOS, Apple rejected the app because it said they had some copyright infringements. So we had to prove that we actually owned the game. So we promoted the mobile version of Agario on Agario.com website, Agario.io website. We cross-promoted across all our main titles. 8-Ball Pool is the main one where we have 10 million DAUs. And in a matter of a few hours, the game reached #1 position in the top free charts on App Store and Google Play stores on almost every country in the world, ahead of Facebook, ahead of Google, ahead of Instagram, ahead of any other app. And it stayed there for 12 straight days. So through word of mouth and because of the viral nature of the game, we reached 20 million downloads in the first month. We were the #1 iOS store, as I said, in the US for 12 straight days without spending $1 single on user acquisition. It's still a top 20 free game in almost every country, several months later of the game being launched. And it was also the top downloaded game worldwide in July, according to App Annie. To give you some ideas on the numbers today, we have around 44 million MAUs on mobile and 5 million DAUs. So we were not featured by Apple and Google on launch. Our goal was not to be featured. Our goal was to launch as soon as possible. Usually by featuring, you need to give an advance time to the store saying you're going to launch it. But our goal was just to put it out before the clones would take our market share. I don't think it's also a game that the App Store's editors would really understand if they would just see it with no people playing it on mobile. So it's very plain vanilla, there's no sounds, the graphics are very simple, and only after they actually saw that the game was so massively popular, they featured it. So that helped us to sustain our position high in the charts. So who's playing the game? So right now we have mostly people under 24, so 50% of the audience is under 24, and then we have the majority of the players are male. This goes in line with our other games, where 80% of our users on 8-Ball Pool are also male, and 85 on Soccer Stars are also male. but we have a bit of, we managed to attract a bit more the female audience here compared to our previous titles. So how did we achieve this? So the key points that I can take out of this is that it's important with the short periods of time to focus on the important stuff. So for us it was launch quickly on iOS and Android, keep the experience faithful to the original game, be faster and better than the copycats, nurture the community. Reddit, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch were also very important for the game. Take advantage of all the social media exposure that we have by retweeting, by sharing it on our Facebook pages. Use all our audience to promote it. So in our case, we used the web game as the main place where we promoted the Agario mobile version, Miniclip website, and we cross-promoted across all our titles on mobile too. We think that the fact that the game allows for self-expression by using memes or using your own words when you're actually playing, make a big difference why the game is so popular. And if it's working, don't fix it. Virality and fun were the key aspects that we didn't want to break. And these are probably the most hard aspects in order to try to replicate and predict when you do a game. I believe that developing a hit is a bit unpredictable. So especially a viral hit. You can create a game that you do a lot of UA and you make money out of the difference of how much the user costs for you to acquire it and how much you make it on his lifetime value. But to create a viral hit, there's no predictability that you can have. So when you have it, just don't break it. So what's next? So for us, it's about increasing monetization and virality of the game without destroying the simplicity of it. So we are adding now, last week we added on Android, our first in-app purchases. You are now able to buy some premium skins. We added some progression so that you have a reason to come back. We added some power-ups, and some more stuff is coming. So we're adding now Facebook gifting, which we believe it helps a lot the virality, where users are able to gift stuff from one to the others. And the skin editor, which for the audience that this game attracts, I think it will be very important, as you will be able to express yourself in ways that you currently can only express with words. And our in-app purchases, as I was saying, were pretty well accepted last week. You use coins to buy skins, to buy more mass, starting mass for a period of time. So these are called boosters. So you can use them. You can use these power-ups for a period of time, and you can get more XP during the time you have those power-ups enabled, and you can have more starting mass while you have that enabled. And that's it. If you guys have any questions.
Hi. First, thank you for the interesting lecture and insights. I was wondering, you guys bought the game and then were in kind of a race to launch it and launch a good product, and I assume there was not a lot to rely from the web game. So can you describe the atmosphere, or what was it like in this race to launch, being a big 120 employees company? Like, did this shift you a bit from your day-to-day, or what was it like?
So it was actually quite stressful, because we are not a very big company for the amount of revenue that we generate and how big are our games. So we had to take people away from several key products for us and assemble a team quickly in order to develop. It's actually a completely whole new infrastructure, both on web and mobile. It's a new server side and also a new client side. So we had Mateus, the original developer, also helping out, explaining how the game was developed, how all the rules, so that we could translate it. And it was very stressful times. We tried to do it as fast as possible. We had initially created a period of 3 weeks for us to be able to develop the game. And the main point for us that I was not happy with were the controls. So I wanted to create a kind of control that was really intuitive on mobile. And after experimenting several controls, we were not happy, so we took a bit longer than expected, but we still think that we were able to put it out in a quick time frame.
Hi. I was wondering if you could explain a little bit how you came into contact with Mateus, the original developer of the game, and what's the story behind it, and what he's doing for the company now. So I just contacted him by email, simple, and he already knew the website, and the
the whole idea, and I'm pretty honest with this, the whole idea was to be able to be a win-win relationship. We knew the game was getting big. We didn't know how big it could become. And what I told him is, with our help, I think you will end up making much more money than you currently are making. And we are able to also teach you a lot of things. You can come and work with us. He was also very young. His parents came to the office. I flew his parents and himself to come and visit us. And even though he's 19, he's been programming for more than 10 years. So he's very experienced. You're not able to build something like this without a lot of experience. By the time we acquired the game, it already had 80,000 concurrent users. So in order to do that and create an infrastructure that is able to handle 80,000 concurrents in a fully multiplayer environment, you need to be very knowledgeable. So what I told him is that I think we can make this game much bigger together than what you can make alone. And he's very happy with the relationship. We continue to work together. I became good friends. He's from Brazil. I went on vacation with his parents in September, actually, to celebrate the massive launch that we've managed to do.
Hi, thank you for the great game. I have a question about copycats. You anticipated that there would be a lot of copycats, and I believe there were some people who invested a lot of money in user acquisition to get those copycats on high positions. Mm-hmm. How did you fight them, if you did?
So I don't think there was a lot of user acquisition. I think most of the copycats were made by small developers all over the world trying to take advantage of something that was already very known on the web and didn't exist on mobile yet. What we've done is we did contact Apple to try to remove all the ones that at least use our names and our images, because we had several skins that were made by us and they were still abusing, and there's still plenty. If you search for Agario on App Store or Google Play, you probably have around 50 apps there. Also websites, there's hundreds of websites also trying to take our audience away. We have a legal team working on it, but sometimes it's very hard to do it. The best thing that I think we can do is to offer the best gameplay experience possible, the best game being the original one. And since we actually launched, you could see an immediate effect of how the copycats immediately drop out of the charts. And we sustained the position in the top 3 chart.
Hi. Could you tell us, as a publisher, like working with third-party developers, like what are some general trends that you're aiming for at the moment, that you're looking for in games?
So currently we are looking for games that attract our core audience. So our core audience is 80% male, 20% female, mostly on Western markets. So any game that attracts that kind of audience. We're also only looking for multiplayer games. That's our core focus, and Agario was a great fit. And even though it still had more female audience than our usual games, it was already so viral that was definitely a great opportunity for us.
What is it in the core game mechanic you think that got the game so successful and viral?
I think there's a few things. I think it relates a lot to the real world. So when you're small and nimble, you're fast. When you're big, you're slow. Everyone wants to become big. As you become big, it's harder. I think that relates a lot to almost so many things we do in life. Then the fact that we had a lot of funny memes, like there were many skins that were related to very famous memes on the internet, also made it popular. It was also not regulated in terms of what words you could use. So you could see really strange things happening there, like Big Mama eating some guy called some funny name either. So the whole thing was very funny. And the game is very competitive. And there's also a lot of ways how to play it. You can create strategies that you team up with other people, and you put the same name as they have, and they feed you, and then you can use their mass to eat other people. So I think it's just the nature of it, the fact that it's so, in some ways, so frustrating and so addictive, and simple. I think the simplicity is also key. This is some fun art, for example, of some users that sent us this the other day. And I just think the fact that it's simple, fun, no big bells and whistles, no sound, sometimes people spend so much time and millions developing a super successful game, trying to make a super successful game, but people don't really care for that. I think people care for fun gameplay, and it doesn't matter if the graphics are just balls on a screen. If the gameplay is fun, they will play your game.
I was wondering if you think that the kind of underground 4chan attitude helped the game virality in the first place, and if now following that you're trying to watch different places in the internet for these kind of games to emerge from when they're still in an early stage and not when your casual friends tells you that you have to play this game.
So definitely helped. I think it's very hard to predict, and probably I don't know how many people after, because it's public information, you can check on Wikipedia that the game was first public on 4chan, how many people actually try that to make their game popular. We definitely always have an open eye of what's becoming popular, and we also look if it's a fad or if it can actually have room to growth. And Reddit, 4chan played a big role on this. YouTube played a big role on this. But the problem is I don't think it's easily replicatable. And I don't think it happens every day. So whoever has the chance to make it happen, great for them. For us, it's all a matter of trying to see if these opportunities make sense for us as a company, and if we can help the developer to grow it to a point that he was not able to do himself. So I hope that answered the question.